The released video has shed more light on foreign military aid to ISIL Takfiri militants in Iraq. According to Iraqi media, the video released by the Iraq-based Hezbollah brigades shows a U.S. Chinook helicopter dropping 2 boxes full of weapons for ISIL militants by flying at a low altitude in the Al-Abbar area south of Fallujah. The video has been recorded on February the 9th. Earlier, there were reports that some U.S. helicopters landed in Fallujah, which is the main base of Takfiri militants in Iraq. The reports fueled speculation that the U.S. is providing militants with weapons. That prompted Iraqi lawmakers to urge the government to open an investigation into that matter.
إن الذين كفروا ينفقون أموالهم ليصدوا عن سبيل الله فسينفقونها ثم تكون عليهم حسرة ثم يغلبون. هذه بعض المساعدات الأمريكية التي ألقيت للملحدين البككة. ذخائر، معدات عسكرية، معدات إضافية. هذه بعض الأسلحة العسكرية التي ألقتها القوات الأمريكية للأحزاب اليابجية واليابكية. هذه حشوة RPG. هذه القنابل التي ألقتها قوات أمريكية الأحزاب الكردية. الحمد لله، غنائم للمجاهدين. الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. احتراق طائرة.
There you go. That's footage of our moderate rebel allies shooting a search and rescue helicopter, trying to help the pilots there. When CNN shows this, they show the helicopters searching around, but they don't show it being shot. We're going to show you, as we just did, them being shot, and we even will show you down to the serial and model number that is on this. That's what we're seeing on this footage, Alex.
It's just crazy. Turkey has been running the main war with ISIS. Wesley Clark will play a clip in a little while. It was on CNN earlier today. I'm just walking through the office. It's on. He's admitting it. So I saw it on screen. And then I turned it on, and there he was saying it, and I backed it up and saved it.
General, are you suggesting that Vladimir Putin had a point then when he suggested that Turkey, in a way, was aiding ISIS?
Well, all along, there's always been the idea that Turkey was supporting ISIS in some way. We know they've funneled people going through Turkey to ISIS. Someone's buying that oil that ISIS is selling. It's going through somewhere. It looks to me like it's probably going through Turkey.
It's just crazy. So ISIS for 5 years under the name al-Nusra al-Qaeda are the moderate rebels, and then they're attacking, and then you've got a U.S.-made TOW missile with them putting it together. They just killed the pilots. They had shot the pilot and the bombardier, the navigator as they're called, as they parachute down. There's footage of that. And they get to the ground. Then they go stage them out in the field 1.5 miles on the Syrian side where the plane crashed. Near there. The helicopters come, they land to get the dead bodies, and they blow it up with a U.S.-made anti-tank missile. There's so many angles to this. And by the way, the mainstream media admits U.S.-made tow missile, because they even show the serial number, a traversing unit guided missile launcher, M83 pound 208520. And that takes us back to Benghazi. Thousands of surface-to-air missiles, thousands of ground-to-ground anti-tank missiles, U.S.-made, French-made, German-made, that were in caches Gaddafi had, that was given to the al-Qaeda forces that ran that attack in Benghazi. They had signs on TV saying, Syria, you're next. They then jihadied on out of North Africa, into the Middle East, into Iraq, and then infiltrated right in to Syria, breaking the country in two. And Turkey's on record with their artillery, attacking, helping bring in the rebels, helping bring in the forces from the Turkish side, not just the Iraq side. And then the Russians have been flying to the edge of their airspace because they've got to get reconnaissance on where the terrorists are coming in. And then they're there shooting down their aircraft. But that's the big red herring. Okay, the aircraft you can debate back and forth, and CNN's like, and guess what? Turkey's so mad after they've been wronged, killing the Russians, flipping reality, that they're going to complain to the Security Council, and Russia's in big trouble. There's a lot of outrage on CNN and Fox right now about the horrible Russians. But that's not the issue. You cannot debate that they're a mile and a half away with a tow missile in Turkey, admittedly, shooting across as they do every day, where they can't be shot back yet, or the Turks will call it war, when they're Turkish armed, Turkish controlled, U.S. armed, shooting over here, blowing up the search and rescue helicopter. And Russia, I'm sorry, is not good at propaganda.
Yeah.
And all propaganda means is information promoting your ideal. I'm Second Amendment promoter. That's propaganda. It's not a dirty word. Russia isn't even talking about this helicopter. The issue is, here are terrorists on the Turkish side of the border blowing up the helicopter with a U.S.-made weapon. And as Putin did properly point out in a speech he gave, saying we've been stabbed in the back by people that are associates of the terrorist or who are abetting the terrorist.
Отсюда и большая денежная подпитка бандформирования.
And certainly these military groups get their financing from. And now they stab us in the back, they hit our planes that are fighting terrorism.
Yes.
He did say
accomplices. And that was a great move, I thought. That pointed out exactly what's going on here. People can see that these are terrorists. I mean, they're shooting people who are parachuting out of a plane, no longer combatants, and under rules of war, you wouldn't do that. Then shooting up a search and rescue helicopter to help them. Just as we saw in Kunduz in Afghanistan, we had U.S. forces attack a hospital for a half hour.
Yes.
Machine gunning and targeting doctors as they're running out of the hospital.
That's right. And then Putin goes further in that little short clip that you played earlier, and he says, look, Turkey, you've bought $800 million worth of oil on record.
Yes.
So everybody wants to act like the whole world isn't ganging up on Syria. And then Russia is, quite frankly, on the side of right, going in to defend against what's happening. We hear all this talk about Assad's used terrorist tactics. Look, a lot of bad stuff happens in war. I'm not defending everything Assad's done, but he's pretty darn good in that region. Okay, even better than like a Hosni Mubarak, who was our ally, who we overthrew, to put the jihadis in. But Syria didn't attack anybody. They were democratizing. The West has been doing this for 5 years. They started the fight. So under common sense, common law, when you attack first for no reason, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
If I get dirty in the fight to survive, I'm not judged at the same standard because I didn't initiate the response.
Yes.
And so this is escalating. It's why we're making a big deal about it. We kept saying if a plane gets shot down, if U.S. troops get killed or are being used as human shields that have been put in there to help the jihadis, it's going to escalate. And now Russia says they plan to have major responses to this. David, other points?
Well, of course, you're talking about Syria and Assad not being a good guy, but he wasn't invading anybody like our close ally Saudi Arabia invaded Yemen. Okay, they're invading Yemen. Nobody is talking about that in the Western press. It's absolutely
since
amazing.
When is invading people that haven't done something to you a serious hardcore tyranny?
Yeah. And of course, they cut off the heads of more people in their own country for various crimes than ISIS has decapitated people. I mean, that's our close ally that's running this.
The Saudi Arabian regime are the villains.
I think it's also important to look at these people who were shouting Allah Akbar, taking the photographs of the the pilot who was dead. These are Syrian Turkmen. Now, those are people who supposedly are of Turkish origin that have been living in Syria for quite some time. But it also, they could very easily be Turkish agents who are coming in here. We need to understand that Turkey has got a lot of dogs in this fight. They want to go after the Kurds that are on their southern border, and you can see ISIS just moving in from Turkey. It looks like an invasion force that is proceeding straight out of Turkey, Alex.
It is. That's the CFR 2 years ago said why we need Al-Qaeda. The whole thing's admitted. It's just the public is not academic enough or informed enough. They're so ignorant that they don't even know the players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard people going, we got to go after Iran because of ISIS. You know, they just have no idea who the players are. And this is a major deficit. The people perish for lack of knowledge.
And if we don't get them to understand what's going on, this is going to be used in the same way that 9/11 was. They're going to fall for all the ramping up of the TSA, as Ben Carson is calling for, saying we've got to send in boots on the ground, special forces to blow up the oil fields when it's our own ally, Turkey, buying it up. I mean, they're the major customers. Like, just pick up the phone and say, don't do that. You don't have to send in special forces.
Well, the truth is, these guys all work for the globalists.
Exactly.
George Soros is involved up to his eyeballs as usual. And I had a caller today, who pointed it all out, and he was absolutely right. This is moving towards a major regional war like Korea, like Vietnam, where we don't use nukes, but it's a major proxy war and hundreds of thousands die, if not millions, like Vietnam or Korea. And then there'll be all the wartime restrictions here at home. Look at Hollande, look at Merkel, look at suspending free speech, martial law in France and basically Germany, all out of them opening the borders, bringing people in, and then they're not held accountable for causing the climate that's allowed them to power grab.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line here is the globalists are running this sickening situation.
Total chaos here domestically. They want to make sure that they bring in a fifth column into the United States. They want to ramp up the police state industrial complex. At the same time, they keep the war on terror industrial complex, bring back the Cold War, and then also have another Vietnam War in the Middle East. That's precisely what, and we have to get people to understand this or they will fall for it, hook, line, and sinker out of fear.
And there'll be trillions and trillions in no-bid weapons contracts.
Yeah.
And just all sorts of carnage. It's a conquest-based economy instead of a renaissance-based economy. A conquest-based economy is controlled by those that create the crises and manage it, versus the free market economy that's a renaissance based on free association, the best products, the best ideas, and building up society. David, I'm going to let you get back to the news after the break. I want you to have a great Thanksgiving with your family.
Thank you.
And just say great job to the crew. And don't forget, free shipping this whole week at InfoWarsStore.com. Help fund the InfoWar. Help join the fight. Knockout is back. If you want a product that has 10 known ingredients that naturally get your body to relax, your brain to relax, so you get deep, restful sleep, Knockout's it. InfoWarsLife.com. L-theanine, hops flower extract, lemon balm extract, valerian root extract, chamomile flower extract, L-tryptophan extract, melatonin, and more. All organic, all the natural sources. It's the same price as leading brands of melatonin that are 3 milligrams apiece. It has 3 milligrams, the standard recommended dose for an adult. It's got the GABA, so it would probably cost $50 to take all this as separate pills. It's $19.95. You take one or two of these, and it just is really clean, restful sleep is what the reviews are. It's what I've experienced. And it just synergistically puts everything in there. InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Or call 888-253-3139.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.
To the USA government. We all know that you are the ones that created ISIS. We know that you are responsible for pain and devastation of millions of people. We know that you constantly supply them with weapons.